ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I hope that you're doing well. Let me try and hide some of these wires over here. There's a little corner over here where there's just a tangle of wires unnecessarily. Today, we're going to give a listen to Miss Roberta Flack. We're going to listen to this track here. My headphones plugged in? Yeah, they're plugged in. We're going to listen to this track, Tryin Times. This is going to be off of her debut album, which was released in 1969, First Take. We're listening to this track because it was suggested and sponsored by Harry. Harry, thank you so much for the recommendation. Thank you so much for the support as well. Now, I've definitely heard of Miss Roberta Flack. I can't say off the top of my head that I've heard anything from her, however. So let's go ahead and dive on into the track. We'll discuss it a little bit after. Here we go.
You got confusion all over the land. Mother against daughter, father against son. The whole thing is getting out of hand. But folks wouldn't have to suffer if there was more love for your brother, but these are trying times. You got the riots and the ghetto, and it's all around. A whole lot of things that's wrong is going down. I don't understand it. My point of view, I remember somebody said, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And then folks wouldn't have to suffer.
What a good piece of music. What a good piece of music, brilliantly performed in all of its subtleties, jazz, blues, all of the feelings, beautiful soul. Miss Flack performing on the piano with subtle blue note kind of chords just gently playing along like a breeze in the wind. Her voice powerful and yet not loud. There's a not trying to overtake, not trying to overburden, just a part of the tapestry that she's particularly weaving here with the rest of the musicians. Mr. Ron Carter on the bass, why not? He's everywhere, why not? And I love how this track begins with that bass line and the piano, of course, coolly setting us up in there as well. And the message, of course, has importance from this time to our time and to times after our times and to times unprecedented. This is just a really wonderful piece of music. Sometimes, I could sit here and put a bunch of, what's the word? I could open a thesaurus and just toss on synonyms and describe the music ad nauseum. But sometimes a good piece of music is just a good piece of music, and sometimes it's best to let the simplicity come through in that way. But a brilliant track, a really wonderful one. And can I tell you what other thing I like about it is let's bring up the lyrics. Let's do all this together. Tryin times is what the world is talking about. You got confusion all over the land. Mother against daughter, father against son. The whole thing is getting out of hand. But folks wouldn't have to suffer if there was more love for your brother. But these are trying times. What I like about this is a couple things. The message is powerful, right? The music is, on the other hand, powerful, yes, but musically, instrumentally, very quiet, very subtle, just a calm jazziness. And I was thinking about that in comparison with the lyrics here. The message is so powerful. She even talks about demonstrations, getting out on the streets and, trying to make change or at least make your voice be known and heard. But the music is kind of opposite, more quiet, more subtle. And this is just me. The track is called Tryin Times. What does the word Tryin in this context mean? What are trying times? Obviously, we know those are hard times, but I'm thinking about the word try. If you're trying to do something, you're attempting to meet a specific end. You're attempting to hit a certain goal. Let me put you back up here. You're attempting to meet a certain goal, and you're trying to do it. That implies struggle to me. That implies effort, action, work. It's not easy. If you could attain that goal just like that, you weren't trying. It just happened. But since you're trying, there is an actual, like I said, I think the word is struggle towards that. Trying times, struggling times, times of struggle. Struggle towards what? Of course, the goal of equality, love, rights, etc. And I just really like the way that the music to me sounds like trying, not in a suffering kind of struggle, but just in we don't have to beat it over the head with dramatic music or anything. We're trying in our own way. Quiet, loud, subtle, overt. We're trying. The music's trying in these trying times. And I think that it all works together really well and really nicely. I was thinking about that as I was listening to the music. You got the riots in the ghetto and it's all around. A whole lot of things that's wrong is going down. I don't understand it. My point of view. I remember somebody said, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Because when you think about, and you could apply this to any time. Of course, this was released 68? 69. So riots right in the midst, slightly in the latter part of the civil rights movement. So of course these have relevance historically, but let's be honest, it has relevance now, future, past, present, future. And I like this line, I don't understand it. Because I think too often we forget the individual, the persons behind tragedies, conflicts, news reports, whatever it may be. We forget the person, the individual. Just as you're a certain person and you're an individual, you have your own thoughts, your life, your experiences, everything. So do I. So does this other person who may just be a title or a name in the news, but they are a person too. We forget. And I like how she says, I don't understand it. Like, why can't we all just get along? People always talk about man's inhumanity to man, but what is you trying to do to make this a better land? Pointing finger. Just pick up your paper, turn on your TV, you'll see a lot of demonstrations for equality. Trying times is what the world is talking about. You got confusion all over. Land of confusion. Mother against daughter, father against son. The whole thing is getting out of hand. And I like how she ends, folks wouldn't have to suffer. She's given us the answer twice in the chorus. She ends here. Folks wouldn't have to suffer. We know the answer. What's the answer? The line's finished for us previously. If there was more love, she gives us a little pop quiz there at the end. This was a good piece of music. Let me know what you guys thought of it, of course, in the comments down below. Hope that you enjoyed it. Hope that you got something out of it. Thank you, Harry, once again for the suggestion and for the support. Please have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. Bye, guys.